Did it
Hey
work?
guys. Yes,
Did it work?
I think it worked.
It worked?
Well, there's always that delay, and we
Oh
never know if we're doing
man.
anything right. If we're doing anything right on this.
Oh, I see something.
So,
I'm
you
seeing
see something?
movement.
Oh, hey, everybody! Welcome back to another episode of This Week in Tech on our new Tech Time, same tech channel. But actually, I think we might need to change the name of the stream, Justin, to maybe like Last Week in Tech. Yeah, because like we're so close to the beginning of the week. Because in my opinion, weeks start on Monday. But
Yeah.
anyways, before we get too
Or
much into
Sunday.
that, hi, my name is Carl, aka the Real Ginger Tech, and this gentleman to this side of me, did I get it right? I got it right. Is Justin, aka Justified Tech.
Justin
Hey,
Tech.
Justin. Justin Tech. Justified Tech.
Ah.
Justin Tech. Like, at least you're admitting it now. So,
Well, okay. But I mean, if you're gonna give me a name, you better stick to it, right?
Yeah, that's true. Justin Tech. But yes, thank you guys for stopping by. We already have a lively chat here. Nice delay on the audio.
Yeah, for some reason there's a delay, and I didn't see it until we went live, but now there's a delay in the video. Is it a delay on just your video? It might be a delay on just your video.
It's a delay in my video, and yes, we're gonna have to figure that out.
It's weird because there's no delay on the other thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because, and I noticed it so here's what's going on. I don't have the greatest of internet here. It has a good download, but a shitty upload. And so Justin is hosting. Yep, there it is. Larry is already on it. Justin is hosting tonight. So you may have to bear with me on this. We will get it figured out though. And actually, I think let's try something real quick, Justin.
Okay.
Let's go over to Skype. We're put us on the starting soonish. We'll be right back in like a second.
Okay.
Check 1 2. How does that sound, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, shut up, Alan. Hopefully that's better.
It looks a little bit better, but I also changed the video setting while we were messing with that.
Oh, okay. Well, you're changing too much.
There's an NDI plugin sync mode, and I changed it. So maybe that helps.
Yeah, possibly. Where are we? We're the Techatorium.
Yeah.
Trying to find the actual stream because I don't get the announcements for my streams. Well, you guys will have to let me know. Larry says it's better, so we're going to go with that. I think we're working good now. Basically, Justin sends his audio to me through Discord, and then I have to send my audio to him through Skype because Skype does not like the Zoom H5 that we have set up over there as a mic capture. So that will change when you get your upgrade going too.
Yeah, which they're still out of stock, but whatever.
Yeah, I've been looking for you. I'm like, man, they are not in stock anywhere. He's looking for a Zoom H5.
No, that's what I'm replacing.
That's what we have.
Go XLR.
Go XLR. Yeah, that's what I currently have here. So he's looking to do that. Justin's mouth is hiding behind his mic, so it's hard to tell if the sound is in sync.
My sound is perfectly in sync. It's always in sync. I'm a
He
member of the
likes to get
band.
up. He likes to get up on that mic like this and just really
Yeah.
make sweet
Well,
love.
I rearranged everything since Carl's not here anymore. I've got more control over here. No.
Yes. No, he really has. He's taking control of everything.
I changed the light.
No. Yeah, he's got a new light there. So yeah, there's all sorts of goodies. The Elgato ring lights.
Yeah.
So, and we actually have more scenes. So when I was hosting, it was us together, my webpage, his webpage, and then a starting soonish. Whereas now we've got individuals on each of us now.
I can totally take over and have no Carl.
Don't think for 1 second I won't hit end stream. Good luck with this. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
we'll get back to the two
hopefully
of us.
this works better. Hopefully the audio's looking good there. I'm just popping out the chat so I don't have to look as far over for what we have going on. So let's get into the chat real quick. Before we get into some tech news, I want to say hi to some people. Alan, good evening, Alan. Larry says it's night in England. Where's the pre-show entertainment? Thanks, Mr. Wizard. We got Mark Gump in here. Yes, Larry. We actually, so Larry's saying, did anyone remind Carl and Justin it's on Tuesday now? We were on at like, what, 6:20, 6:25? Yeah. And we did all this setup for swapping sources here, or hosting in that time. And you know what? If the audio's a little out of sync, that's not bad considering we just kind of whipped it together.
Yeah, like we were always gonna just switch back to the other way if things got a little hairy. But
yeah, worst case scenario, I still have everything set up. But no, I think hopefully this is working out. Be sure. Looks like Carl's getting his room set up. I am. Lights. We'll get to that in a minute here. Let's see, where were we at? Yes, sound. We got that taken care of. Justin is hosting tonight. Justin had the delay last Thursday. I think it's because we're pulling video from one source, audio from another, but now we should be good because with you hosting, you don't have to worry about that. Whereas before I couldn't get audio from you.
Yeah. Well, but now I'm seeing that it's like the video gets more and more delayed.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys let us know in the chat there. We're both a little hairy. I don't know what's going on there. Well, we're just going to
got a little hairy. Well, we're both hairy.
Yeah, we are. I gotcha.
I got a little much going on. I need to back off a bit.
Yeah, you do. That's getting long. We got Mark Gump in the house. Thank you for stopping by, Mark. We got Larry Allen, Bob Euler. Hey, Bob. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen you. Larry says, hit that like button. We do appreciate that. Bill Wilson in the house. My first thought it's not Thursday. Then I remembered. Good job. Sync is much better, but audio quality is down slightly for Carl. That's because Skype's audio quality is shit. I'm just gonna say that because it really is compared to Discord. Discord has at some point we're gonna figure it out.
Because I think the audio sync wasn't the Skype versus Discord.
Okay, so I you don't have to. Well, I guess you would have. I'm just gonna switch audio now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better.
It's a lot better audio quality.
But it's still a little delayed. Maybe we need to switch which one we're capturing web page and do web page through Skype.
Yeah, we'll work on that next time.
The delay is way worse. It was totally the
audio. I'm going back to Skype. Okay, now we should only be hearing me once through Skype. So next Tuesday we will have this fixed. Anyways, I think we are caught up there. We got Larry Allen. Yeah, Bob. Yeah, we're caught up there as far as the chat goes. Oh, yeah, coming back to Mark's comment. Looks like Carl is getting his room set up. That is correct. I got the lights actually programmed. I swapped out those. I'm going to post over Carl. He can't look at me. I got those shitty compact fluorescents taken out. and put in some LifeX bulbs. So now with my Stream Deck, I can go normal. This is like when I'm just in here, or hey, it's time to stream. And there's a little delay because it's actually going out to the web and back because that's dumb. So, but anyways, how are you this week, Justin?
I'm pretty good. I actually, before the stream, went and got my second vaccine.
Oh,
So I'm
congratulations.
a couple weeks for it to fully take effect, and then I'm good.
Nice.
So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to. I mean, you still have to wear masks in public and stuff, but when we have friends over,
Hmm.
it's a surprising number of my friends have gotten vaccinated already. So
Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah. Good, good. Anything else new in tech world for you?
a couple of things. I mentioned the key light. You know, it's got the
Yep.
wonderful directions. That you know Elgato does that. Like,
Why?
why do I need a giant piece of cardboard for instructions
Oh
instead of
yeah,
a little piece
it
of
came.
paper?
It came with my key light. Came with your key light. Now the ring light.
But it's cool because it's a ring and the camera goes right there. I can't
Hmm.
show you it. This is the only Elgato light that has physical buttons, so you can turn it up and
Oh,
down.
yeah. Well, there's a physical switch slash button on the
Yeah,
key
you can
light.
turn it on and off. This I can turn the brightness up and down.
Yeah, you can actually adjust
Um,
stuff.
but so I got that. I moved the Stream
Nice.
Deck Mini in over here because I'm putting the regular Stream Deck on my computer, and I did also get the Corsair, uh, the bar. It's a touch
Oh,
bar
the
that
bar. Yeah.
also works with the Stream Deck software, so I'm gonna have all the stuff going on my computer.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, you're gonna be loaded
that
down
stuff's
there. Did
supposed to
you
come
already
tomorrow.
get? Did you already get the Elgato, the Stream Deck? I mean.
That's supposed to come tomorrow. I
Oh,
think it's
gotcha.
tomorrow for the Stream Deck, and maybe the next day for the other one. The uh, I also got new controllers for my Switch.
Oh Jesus.
I've been that looks
Run
really
Viking, huh?
yellow. It's orange in
That
person.
looks really
It's
yellow.
dirt. It's definitely as dirty as it looks. That's gross. Um, but no. So we bought those just on a whim because we bought Bravely Default 2. I love RPGs and I
Brave.
love the style of Bravely Default. And there was Bravely
Yeah.
Default and Bravely Second for the 3DS. And Bravely Default 2 was a continuation of the first story. Bravely Second was same kind of world and same kind of gameplay, but a different like timeline universe thing. So it was really really interesting. I really like it. I get home and one of my buttons isn't working.
Oh
One of my buttons
no.
isn't working. And you know
It's a
me,
little
so I
too
just
stick.
swapped to the other controllers. Like, I'm glad we bought these controllers. So I swapped to
Right.
the other controllers because it was just the L button. It's not used a lot, but it's used a little bit. And then I take the other one apart, and the little micro switch is just a surface mount micro switch that got pushed
Hmm.
off. Is
Yep. I've
completely
seen a
disconnected.
lot of repair things for that.
It's six
Yeah.
bucks for the circuit board. So I'm like, I could try to resolder it. I've got the reflow station. I'm not gonna worry about it.
I'll take it and fix it.
Well, I've got the $6 replacement board, so I'm just gonna replace the board for $6.
Oh. Okay. Rather than trying to reflow the
Yeah, because it's just
button
on
itself.
it's on a little sub like a daughter board that
Yeah.
only is there to hold the button, and you can buy
Gotcha.
the daughter board with the button on it for $6. And I was like, well, they're
Nice.
$80 a pair for controllers. I'll spend $6 to fix the ones I've got.
Yeah.
So I got that. We got that. Me and my wife both playing Bravely Second. Or no, Bravely Default 2. It's a
Nice.
ton of fun. Love it. If you like RPGs, especially like the old school Final Fantasy turn-based stuff, Bravely Default, Bravely Second, and
Definitely check
Bravely
out.
Default 2. It just came out. Definitely worth a playthrough. Other than that,
Nice.
that's all I've got. I mean, that was kind of quite a list, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, unfortunately, I don't have anything really new in tech. It's reinventing what I already have. Like getting everything laid out, and I have a much bigger place now, so I can justify having like two of the Nest Audios versus my tiny hole in the wall apartment before. It was like, why do you have so many speakers? But anyways, I think we need to get into some tech news. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Good. Hopefully the sound is. Somebody let me know. Is the audio okay? Are we still a little out of sync, or what's going on there? Just out of curiosity.
It looks like it's getting
So
worse and
to get,
worse on my end.
is it really?
Yeah,
Son of a.
I'm googling.
Well, hopefully.
I'll have a solution. Hopefully, it doesn't involve
Anyways,
restarting OBS.
so no, we're not restarting anything. We can have it fixed next week. But anyways, let's take a look at our first topic of the week, and that is Tesla and their new, well, not new, their full self-driving subscription model. Justin, that's your cue. There we go.
I got it.
So, okay. I know. I was just messing with you. Elon Musk is saying by the end of Q2, so that would be what, February, March, April, so May through June. By June, basically, we are going to see a full self-driving car, but it has a subscription model. So things that they're actually bringing to this, because they already have self-driving or autopilot, self-driving on highways only, and even then, not all highways. Basically, it's a off-ramp or on-ramp to off-ramp, right, Justin? Like that's really the only place that works.
It's slowly getting more traffic, but yeah, mostly it's on-ramp to off-ramp.
Yeah. But
and parking lots.
No, I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, they do have the what was it? The summon mode,
yeah.
or what? Yeah. So basically they're going to be switching over to a subscription model, which okay, I kind of understand because I'm sure there's some network somewhere crunching all the numbers and everything, or some server somewhere crunching these numbers. But at the same time, it's like everything in this world is going subscription model. And it's just kind of annoying. Like if I buy a car, I don't want to have to continue paying even after I've paid it off.
Yeah, more and more people don't pay off their cars though. Like I know so many people who as soon as their car is close to paid off, they're turning it in for another one.
Yeah, see, I'm not that way though. Like my car's paid off, and I have no intention of buying a new one anytime soon.
Right. No, and
so I mean that's me.
Yeah, and that's not everyone is like that, but more and more people are. And that I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but I'm saying I get why that Tesla thinks it's a good business model, because so many people, it doesn't really matter if I'm paying $500 a month for a car or $550 a month for a smart driving car.
Yeah, that yes, that makes sense. So right now it's a $10 option when ordering a new $10,000 option to get that. But they're going to be switching over to that. The buying full self-driving will still be a better long-term deal than subscription. So if you are the type of person like myself that pays off a car and continues to use it, $10,000 is a better deal than a subscription. So, in theory, depends on how much they're charging and how long you're going to own.
How much a month do you think it's going to cost?
I honestly see them charging like $150, $200 a month.
So $10,000. Let's divide that by $200 a month. That's 50 months. That's, you know what? That's not that bad return on your investment. 50 months. Divide that by 12.
Because I mean, figure the average auto loan is what? 3 years, 4 years.
It depends. The more expensive it gets, I've seen up to 8-year auto loans. I had a 5-year. On my car.
But I mean, so in theory, if you had the same auto loan, you're paying a $10,000 upfront option versus, and you decide to keep the car for indefinitely versus doing $200 a month. And obviously this is just kind of we're guessing at the price because nothing has been released yet.
Yeah.
Um, I'm like, it's kind of one of those things. Like, if you keep the car and you still want that self driving, why am I paying a subscription? I'm like,
Yeah.
I understand a huge like markup, $10,000 right up front. Understandable. That's new technology. He's the only one that's, or Tesla's only the only one that's going to be doing it
Hmm.
right now.
And
To this
and they're not
extent.
the first ones to do something like that. There's plenty of services out there. Did you remember Lord of the Rings Online?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you bought it and you paid $250 for the game day one, you were free online forever. And if you paid the
Mm-hmm.
subscription fee, by the time you would have paid $250, it went free to play.
Justin, bump your audio up a little bit.
I did when I saw that. So
Okay, gotcha. Sync seems decently close.
yeah,
Okay.
it's getting better. It's like
Um.
getting better and worse on my end. So I don't know. I'll just let it go for now.
Yeah. We'll figure it out next week. So and this is obviously they have autopilot now, but this is a full self driving is what they're saying,
Let,
as in it's going to recognize stoplights,
mhm.
stop signs. You'll be able to use this in theory anywhere around town.
Right. And like literally let it pull you out of your driveway and pull you into work.
Exactly.
But Larry's got it down. His 2005 Jeep Liberty has been paid off for a while. I
Yeah.
have a 2003 Jeep Liberty.
Yeah, but yours is a piece of
Mine. Hey, it's got leather heated seats, a sunroof, it's got
yeah,
all that stuff. The engine's broken, but yeah,
yeah.
my piston rods,
The engine's
the
broken.
piston
Yeah.
bearing sleeves are going bad or something like that. I don't remember. It's
hmm
got a bad knock, so I don't drive it
I'm
very
trying
much.
to find. I had a different article earlier today that actually talked about the full self driving. That is what I wanted to talk about. Let's see
And
here.
so while you're looking for that, so if it was $200 a month, you'd pay it off in
Mhm.
4 years and 3 months.
6 months. 54.
50.
Did you say 54?
50.
Oh, 50. Yeah.
Four
Yeah. Sorry.
years and two
Yeah. 4
months.
years and 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a little over 4 years. We'll just call it 4 years, right? But
Yeah.
that's assuming that you paid cash for the $10,000 upgrade and aren't paying interest on a loan, which will, depending on your interest rate, make it a 50% more. But that still only brings it to a 6-year loan equivalent.
hmm
And is probably still worth it if you're going to keep the car past the 6 years. So somebody's going to have
Yeah.
to make that
And that's the
decision up
thing.
front. I'm buying a brand new Tesla. Am I going to keep this thing for 20 years or am I going to keep it until the next big Tesla comes out? If you're going to keep it till the next big Tesla comes out, pay subscription. You're going to save money.
Oh yeah, the subscription. Yeah, the obviously those short term. If you're only keeping it for 2 years, 3 years, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
And obviously, like I said before, it depends on what they come out for a price point.
Right. Because if it's less than 200 a
It's
month, then going
yes,
subscription model
and
becomes just almost
but
just just better.
I have a feeling that it's probably going to be more than 200 a month, because they've probably done this same math on a much higher level than we have and gone, well, we could charge 10 grand or at one time, or potentially
I
in that
wonder
same, X time period, make 12
I
grand,
wonder
or
if
whatever.
it's going to be straight subscription model or if there's going to be an upfront cost to have the option to buy into the subscription. So it's like pay us $3,000 upfront, and then you
Mm,
can, if you want, subscribe. But I think Mark brought up it'd be nice if the autopilot subscription would be month to month, so you could get it when you need it. Because that would be nice. Because if you only
oh, turn
like,
it on,
you know what, I'm not
off.
going to use it in the winter because I'm driving
Mm-hmm.
less and whatever. I'm not going to use it. And then summer hits, like I'm doing a lot of road trips this month. I'm going to pay the $200 to get self driving for my road trips, and then you could be saving money on the subscription model. but you don't have access to it all the time. So it's they're trade-offs.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be kind of curious to see the full details once it's launched. They haven't released everything about it, obviously. I I don't know. I guess the whole everything is a subscription nowadays is just kind of like things. There are things I understand. Uh, Services like Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything like that. I understand. That's a subscription based thing. But when you get something that like I always go back to this one. Adobe, Photoshop, Lightroom,
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. You used to be able to just buy it outright.
Yeah.
Yes, you were stuck at that feature set because they didn't do like unlimited upgrades. But now they're here. You have to pay for this even
Yeah.
when you're not using
So
it.
so Adobe actually always had a subscription model, but it was not called subscription. It was called software assurance. What software assurance is if you were a business, if you're an individual, they wouldn't offer it to you. But if you were a business,
No, yeah,
you could pay
looking at it from an
you could
individual.
pay monthly, and always have access. And then they just trickled that down to everybody. Is what ended up happening.
Mhm.
And and with that, I get the mindset of I bought Photoshop once, I want to keep it. I don't need these upgrades. I don't need all the new stuff. I like what I've
Yes, and
got.
that's the thing.
I completely get that. And I don't think Adobe should ever have gotten rid of the like I don't care if Tesla offers a subscription as long as they
Mhm.
don't drop the purchase option.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. Like, if you want to say, hey, instead of paying, just like Adobe, if you want to pay monthly, we'll give you all the updates and stuff because I understand that's what costs the money. But when or you could pay and just get the 2019 version
Mm-hmm.
and keep that and buy whenever you want the full feature set upgrade, buy it later
Right.
on.
And
Yes, you have to buy a new version, but if at the time you have everything you need, I don't, some of those new features, it's like I'm not going to use those, or
yeah, and
just throwing that out
yeah,
there.
it's absolutely like I completely agree with you. It's one of those things that um if you don't need it, why should if I'm never going to use this new feature, why should I have to pay
Mhm.
for it? That's kind of why I like DaVinci Resolve for
Yes,
video
it's
editing is because it's free,
and
but it has a couple of
you
features
get
you
upgrades.
pay for, and then you get
Yep.
upgrades, and then their business model is making money off of the support and the additional
Hmm.
things. And that's a great business model because the people who don't need it don't have to pay for it. And the people who do need it pay a
Yes.
little bit more for it and it covers everybody.
So, how do you think their autopilot actually works?
Tesla's Autopilot?
Like, yes. Do you think that the Tesla is sending information somewhere to be calculated and then getting that back? There's everything happening on board.
I think that I think it's a combination, but a majority of it and a majority of the major safety capabilities needs to be done on board in case there is no
That's
internet.
that's kind of what I figured.
I'm
Yeah, because
sure there's
if
some things that go across the internet. Um,
yes, I'd be curious. So the reason I ask is, okay, I could understand a subscription service if the majority of stuff was being offloaded and you had server
mhm,
upkeep and all that. But at the same time, if you're not doing that and the majority, I guess,
mhm.
excuse me, whatever percentage there is, um, like that's how it should be calculated if there's some sort of subscription
Well,
fee.
and I also, it's not just whether it's being done on the cloud or local hardware. It's
Hmm.
also the free updates that you constantly get that it's not
Hmm.
necessarily safe for them not to allow you to get. Like self-driving is a completely different bear when it comes to the idea of, oh, you know what, I'm just going to pay for and keep the version I have, and then two
Yeah.
months later, all of a sudden they're like, oh, we have this patch because it doesn't recognize strollers. So if you don't have this patch, you might run into a stroller.
Well, now, but that's also a tricky situation right there because if they, like if you had bought the $10,000 option before, and they can't deny those patch updates to
No,
continue to allow that to work because that's like saying, "Oh, we know of a safety recall issue on your, 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And we're not going to take care of it though."
I mean,
You better, otherwise you're going to have a shit show on
you
your
have no
hand.
idea how many safety recalls get ignored because it's small enough that they would rather pay the insurance fees and whatever.
Yes.
But that was
But
that was
but
a
a
kind of an
big one like
extreme.
it doesn't recognize
That was
strollers,
kind of an extreme
that would be,
example.
yeah,
Extreme example.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
it doesn't recognize not rolling over your grandma's toes. You know, that's
Yes.
maybe it's a
Yes.
little bit
No,
different.
I see where you're going though, but there's going to be certain things that, yes, they may find that issue, and it's going to be like, no, we want to push that out
Right.
because we don't want a death on our
and
hands.
and that brings it back to liability issues, and I don't know that they've solved that. Like, if a Tesla that is full self-driving, like let's say
Mhm.
they call it full self-driving, fully automated,
Yes, and
nobody's required to be
that's what it's
behind the
saying
steering
here
wheel,
is
where
full self-driving.
it,
Yep.
and different states have treated it differently, but I think
Mhm.
Florida, if it's full self-driving capable, there doesn't need to be a driver. Just period. You
Okay.
could have no driver, just have everybody just in the back seat. If it's considered full self-driving.
Yes.
If the fine print says that it's full self-driving, but you remain liable, you maintain control over the vehicle, you need to take over, they can
That's
shift liability onto you. Um,
yes.
but if they say full self-driving, you don't need a driver, who are you going to shift liability onto? Who's the liability going to go to? Is it
True.
your
True.
fault for not patching last night?
Mm,
Is it
yeah,
their
that
fault for
is
not
true.
offering the patch a week ago? You
Yes.
know,
Yeah. No, I see where you're going on that. It's where does the liability go in that scenario?
yeah.
Because you're offering me a service in which, or a product in which you've said it takes care of itself.
I think
Yeah.
I think if it's a pay for it once and you're done situation, it'll be a lot
Mhm.
easier for Tesla to shift liability onto you than if it's a
Yeah.
subscription model. And that might be a
Yeah.
benefit of stick and subscription, is that if they're doing that, they must maintain liability.
It's kind of like an added layer of insurance,
Yeah.
like covering your own butt in case stuff really goes wrong.
Yeah. And that
But
might be the only way that car insurance, like, for a while, no car insurance companies would cover Teslas, and therefore you had to go through Tesla as your insurance company.
hmm
Um, so Tesla is a licensed insurance
but
company in many states.
yep.
Um,
But now you're getting a lot more of those. Jesus. Modern day tech. How's it going? Long time no see. Glad you can make it tonight. Yes, those strollers always get in the way anyways. 10 points each.
I didn't know that you played that game. I
Right? That's
mean,
like Grand Theft Auto right
do we
there.
have a high score leaderboard yet?
We need to get one, just an overlay.
uh,
Oh yeah. So I think that's enough of Tesla.
yeah.
There's goods and bad things. And obviously we're just gonna have to wait and see what this whole what how full feature self-driving it is. Like, is it gonna be, like you said, from garage to work, or is it gonna be just like a slightly upgraded version of their current autopilot that's, you still have
Yeah.
to do it on side streets. It doesn't recognize stop signs or
I
something.
think the key is, are you still required to have a driver?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. That's going to be a pretty big deal there. Whether or not it's
We were
self
we were
driving.
talking. Me and my brother were talking about this. I visited my brother over the weekend, and
Mhm.
it's like, if you could put your son in a car seat in the back of a vehicle and send him off to grandma's an hour away, would you? They wouldn't.
Like a self-driving
self-driving
car?
car. Nobody in the driver's seat.
No.
Did you know that like 100
And
years
that's going
ago
to be
they
a
used to
personal.
put kids and mail them to their grandparents? It was a different. We talked about it. It was a different time then. It was like your local
Yeah.
mailman was somebody you personally knew, and they knew the kids
Yeah.
and the grandparents. But
They'd probably just have a basket they throw over their shoulder or something.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, people would
That's
mail their kids, and that was my point towards. You think you wouldn't do it now, but once it becomes normal, you get desensitized to it, and there's so many things that people
Yeah.
never think that they would ever do that they do on a daily basis now.
I think the bigger issue here for me with that whole scenario is it would take me more effort to get used to the fact I have a kid. What the?
You don't know that you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Gotta make sure. Anyways, moving on away from my personal life there. Yeah. I think we need to move on to our next topic. We got some modern day tech. I love me some GTA 3 back in the day. That's right. Playing a little bit of games. Speaking of games, we got Google Stadia back in the news here. Quick recap of Stadia. It is a cloud-based platform that has not gone too well. It's got some good titles, but they recently closed down their independent developers for Google Stadia, like their own in-house developers. And now we're seeing that things are going to probably a little bit worse than we expected. So right here, it's reports came just after Google shutting down its in-house Stadia game development studios. Well, there's more to it than just that. But actually, before we get into this, though, Justin, so you have tried Stadia?
Yeah, I got your free demo, and I played
I got
for a
you the
little
free
while.
demo.
We played
some
farming game for like 10 minutes.
Farm Simulator, yes. And this is one of those things, and I think this kind of attests to the majority of all these cloud gaming services, is it's for certain people. The people that don't have a gaming PC or don't have a console, or maybe the minimalists that you can have a controller but not necessarily want a console and or a gaming PC or anything like that. So, but you also tried
The
what was it? Nvidia
Geforce Now.
Yeah. So, give me some things that you think, like, do you think there's anything that Google has done right?
So Google's pure availability is the only thing that has trumped Nvidia, because Nvidia Geforce Now had so many games available because it was basically just your whole Steam library. It was a virtual machine playing your Steam library.
Yeah. So
licensing was different, things were different.
Let's
Google's availability.
The what?
Yeah, availability. You can play it on anything.
Yes.
That's what Google had, in my opinion.
Yes. So let's say you're starting off from scratch. You have no games. You haven't had a gaming PC. Would you go with Stadia, or would you go with something like xCloud, or like what would be? I guess this is turning into more than just Stadia problems. This is kind of like a whole just cloud game in general.
Yeah, I'd still just say buy a gaming console. I mean, if you want to get into good gaming, I'd still say gaming consoles are the best way to go. PCs are a better experience, but it's kind of like the Apple versus Android thing. You have to play with PCs a little bit more, get them working right. You have to deal with drivers, you have to deal with all that stuff. Consoles just work. Everything's perfectly done for the console. They just work. That doesn't mean it's always perfect.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk proved that. But
yeah, that's a good comment.
But it's just generally better. If you didn't want to buy, if you wanted to pay a subscription and not buy something,
Like
I
not
would
buy
lean
a
towards
hardware.
GeForce Now
Okay.
because if you bought a PC later, you own those games.
You could transfer those over.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, so something to think about though is you still have to buy the games. With
Yes.
Stadia, you still buy the games, but there's no monthly subscription.
Stadia had it depend the no monthly subscription
For
had some
for
pretty decent
for
limitations on it.
1080p gaming at 2 hour, like you
2 hour
basically after
cap,
2 hours.
you have to restart
Yeah,
it.
but then you would just re-log in. So yes, there are some addendums there, or
If too many
uh
people did the free tier, I'm sure they would make it more and more painful to get people to pay.
yeah, yeah. So, but anyways, kind of steering back to the issues here. And we've talked about this a little before. This may be a Google ADHD moment in which they just don't follow through. So one of the things here is, according to Wired magazine, or Wired, not magazine, because they're not a magazine anymore, is that Google may not have put as much investment into the internal studios as it much hype planned for Stadia may have suggested. So, when Stadia first rolled out, I had to actually look into this because I didn't really follow the internal studio as much.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the thought of Stadia because I do think it's a good concept. You know,
Mm-hmm.
with obviously caveats because it was the first to launch, right? Like officially launch. Like I know there's a lot of
First
stuff
big
that's been
one.
in
There,
first big one. Yes,
there
there's been a lot
were
that's
yeah,
changed.
yeah. First big one.
There's been other kind of
First
weird
notable
ones.
one. Not first one that you didn't have to set up a whole bunch of stuff on your end. Yes.
Yes, but it had caveats to it when it first launched. For starters, you had to use the Chromecast Ultra that came with it in order to use it initially, like right out of the
Yep.
box. You couldn't use another Chromecast Ultra. There was limitations on playing. What was it? I think it was. Oh, if you were using your phone, you had to plug it into the phone, I guess,
The
in
controller
order
to get the controller to
the
work.
controller. Yep, if you're
Yep.
using the controller, which is kind of a weird thing considering the controller connected to Wi-Fi.
And
So
was
you would
across the
think,
cloud. It talked to
yes,
Stadia. It didn't talk to
yes,
your device.
yeah. And I think you also had to do it with the computer too. I think you had to have it plugged in, which I thought was
Yeah.
weird.
Yep.
Um, but so and reading this now where they're talking about they're not investing as much as they probably should have, or suggested that they were going to. I'm afraid that this may fall short. And we may not see it for much longer. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe a couple years before they drop it, but I don't.
They're pulling to Google.
They're pulling a Google, yeah, and that's the big thing here for me is seeing investment. It's not like they don't have the money. They clearly have the money. I mean, let's be honest. Google, Amazon, Apple, like the three of them are just powerhouses.
Mm-hmm.
It's who's coming up with the ideas and who's executing the ideas. So we got somebody coming up. Oh, it'd be cool. Do some cloud gaming. People, we sell them a controller and a Chromecast Ultra, and then they can just play over the internet. Okay, cool. Did you sell it well enough to say, hey, I want to secure X amount of money for this, not just a promise and a wishful nod of yeah, go right ahead. We'll see how long this lasts. And then also just their launch of it. Like I yes, cool concept. They launched it in beta, and I am tired of beta stuff. I am so tired of beta stuff, especially when it comes to something like hardware like this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just look at the restrictions you had on that. I couldn't buy just a controller right off the bat, which I know they've figured that out now to where you can just buy a controller by itself, and the Chromecast Ultras work, but I don't think they've updated the new Chromecast with Google TVs yet.
Yeah. I don't think that those work yet either. They definitely didn't when they first came out, and
Yes.
I don't know. I've not heard that they started working. So
Yeah, I'd
Maybe
have to look into that more, but it's just like they had so many good games right off the bat. Like they brought in Red Dead Redemption 2. They had Borderlands 2. No, 3.
3.
Borderlands 3. Yeah. Like they had all these good games and these high hope. It's like right here. Google's goal was to hire 2,000 people over the course of 5 years to make Stadia games. Well, you didn't do that.
Instead, you
You
close the
canceled
studio.
Stadia. Yeah, you closed the studio. So to me, like that's just like a foreshadow of we don't have enough faith in this service. Like we don't want to. Why wouldn't you want to develop your own games? I mean, you're developing everything else. Google
Yeah.
Assistants, Android has been, blown up, compared to when it first launched. It's like get in on the ground floor.
I
You
don't
know?
know that I care. I mean, I know last time we talked about it that I was it was a big deal to me, but the more and more I thought about it, I don't know that I cared whether they develop actual games, but they should totally be developing an engine that works really good with the Stadia, and then let
Yes.
other people
Yeah.
make the actual games. But kind of like how Unreal
Yeah.
Engine and Epic Games, where Unreal Engine is what really pays the bills until
Mhm.
Fortnite. Um,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
and then when Fortnite goes away, they're still going to be around because Unreal Engine is going to keep paying the bills.
Yeah.
Make an
Because
engine
like
that
they
works
keep,
real
yeah,
good.
no.
Let other people
I think
use
that
it.
I think that's a really good idea. And to me it's not so much that they they're not making games either. That I'm like, whatever, because like I said, I really didn't realize they were even trying to make games.
Hmm.
But it's kind of one of those things like, okay, you're giving up on the making of your own games. Are you going to give up on you know, uh, give up on the whole service in general in the long term?
They're not gonna
Like
put any more investment in negative latency. They're not gonna put any more investment in
yes,
high being able to compress your
negative
high
latency.
HD better and all that.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it just kind of, it makes me wonder. And it's like at first it was like, okay, yes, they canceled that, but and we talked about this a couple weeks back, but after reading more up on it, it's like, okay, it's not even just that they canceled it because it was unsuccessful or they didn't have the leadership or they didn't have that goal in mind. It was they're not willing to invest in it. They're not willing to put as much investment in as they originally said they would.
Yeah, but
Well, what
so
what
many people
happens
aren't
if?
surprised.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's I don't know. I've been a fan of Google for years. I'll call myself a Google fanboy to a certain extent, but even I'm kind of going, well, what the shit?
yeah. But you
Come
know
on,
what
Google.
game is working and completely good?
What game?
You can play Pong inside of Mac OS icon.
Wow, that is
uh,
very impressive.
my article is a lot shorter than yours. Somebody made Pong in the taskbar for a
Yes,
Mac.
yeah. Mine was kind of long and drawn out, and everybody's already bored.
Yeah. Nope, that's it. Mine's short and sweet. Done.
Oh,
Pong
nice.
on Apple.
Uh, that is funny. Quick check in with the chat here. Where are we at? That is true. They did mail. It was frowned on, but they did mail kids. Apparently, modern day Tech's parents let him fly alone when he was around 5.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. Lots of kids flying alone. But
Yeah,
that was
I guess 5 seems like awfully young,
well
but yeah,
pre
because
nine
usually
eleven.
it's like you hand off. True.
Like
Yeah.
so much of our life has been post 9/11, and there are things that we
Yeah.
would never think is okay.
Well, but at the same time, it's like having said that, it's like I look back and I go, you know, it's not as bad as like, letting your kids climb around the back of the station wagon with no seatbelt on. You know, car seats were, you know, optional at best, as far as stuff like that goes. So I suppose it could be worse,
Yeah.
because I mean, um, you have like the odds of you getting in a car accident are better than you or I guess worse, depending on how you want to look at it, than you getting in a plane crash. Like statistically, driving is has a higher failure rate just because of the sheer amount of people on the
Driving
road.
is the most dangerous thing that anyone does on a daily basis, statistically.
I was going to make some like just crude comments on that. It was,
Well, the average
autoerotic
person,
asphyxiation
the
for me.
average person. I'm not gonna go there
Yeah,
with you, Carl. The
yeah, I
average
know.
person, but yeah, no, driving is the most dangerous thing the average person does on a given any given day, statistically. And airplanes are so much safer. But when something does go wrong, it's a big deal, and everybody hears about it. So it sounds
Yeah,
like it's such a big thing, and people are afraid of flying, but they really should be afraid of driving.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, yeah, like you said, statistically, it's the most dangerous thing. Yeah, modern tech. Yep, times have changed. Although I believe you can still get a gate pass, but nobody sends their kids anymore.
I don't
No,
know if you can
no,
get a gate pass
especially.
anymore. Who would want to go through the
Uh,
TSA just to not get on an
yeah,
airplane?
right. No, I think when you do the whole send your kid thing, they do give you something because it wasn't that long ago. Because like anybody under I think 13, you have to have somebody accompany. Like because my sister would send the kids to my her ex-husband's place in California, and so she had to go through that a couple times. But you get all the way up to the gate with them. You hand them off to a flight, basically a flight attendant. I'm pretty sure it's just a flight attendant, and then they walk them to their seat and do all that. So I think you do still get a gate pass with that.
Probably. I
So
don't see them being used nearly as much as they used to, but
no, especially post COVID. Like I mean, plane
oh yeah.
plane tickets are cheap right now, and there's a reason for that because nobody's using them, and they need to make any money they can. So,
I got another one.
yes. What do you
Want to see
got?
something cool? Want to
I
see something
so.
that costs $400,000?
Oh God, what do you have? What the?
It's a 165-inch micro LED TV that folds up and disappears into your floor. We'll just let that sink in.
I know I'm watching it. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, are you serious? $400,000?
It's 165 inch, so I mean,
No,
being
I mean yes.
165 inch
It's
is
like you say 165, and for some reason I'm just registering 65 until you see it like in ratio to the couch and chair
yeah,
that's right there, and you go, oh,
it's
that's
three times.
that's
Yeah,
huge.
it's huge and
Um,
folds and goes in your floor and is
yes.
micro LEDs. Are they still micro when the TV's 165 inches,
Well,
or are
it's
they just regular LEDs at that point?
what resolution is it though? Like
I
16,
think it's 8K.
8K. Okay, 8K. I suppose. Yeah, micro. I don't know if that's still even works, but that's funny. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think that's actually pretty flipping awesome.
Yeah, it's real cool. I'll never have one. We'll build our
Yeah,
own. It'll just be a projector screen that comes out of the floor and a projector that pops up behind you.
that could
We
happen.
can we could
I
totally
was
do
just
that.
picturing just a TV that just dropped down into a hole.
There's lots of them that are TVs that drop down into like entertainment centers and
Yeah, like I've seen
yeah.
those, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, that $400,000. Like, where do you get that kind of money that you can just throw that around?
Um,
Like,
being Bill Gates or own Apple.
Alan says, so that kind of money, I will take your TV and move it into the closet. I'll be your personal butler and move that TV in and out anytime you need it for $400,000.
165
Jeez.
inch. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the other thing. Like how many companies are making a 165-inch period? Like, I don't know of any personally.
Yeah. LG just shattered your rollable TV dreams with an $87,000 price tag. What?
Oh, what? Bring it up. Bring it up.
I
Let's
just
see
saw
this.
that was the
Oh,
ad on the thing. Let's pull it up. I think this is from a while ago. Yeah, this is from 5 months ago.
oh, gotcha.
But yeah, see that rolls down and it rolls up inside the,
Into there. That's pretty slick.
and so it basically just disappears too. Um,
Yeah.
but
See, I think
it's
that's
a
even
quarter of the
cooler because
price.
yeah, yeah, you don't have to spend as much. I mean, so that's always a bonus. So
Yeah.
so while we're on the random topic here, you can go ahead and switch over to mine. Facebook. So they have what is it? The portal? Yeah, Facebook portal.
I use that
They
over
want to
the weekend.
make. Did you?
Yeah.
How'd you like that? Did you like being spied on by Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, I mean, did he like watching me play board games with my in-laws?
Oh, true.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he may
Um,
have. You know.
no,
Uh,
so it was really interesting because it was on the counter. We just unplugged it, plugged it back in on the table, and in less than a minute, we were back in the call. So it's
oh,
okay. If you talk to people who only know how to use Facebook, it works.
okay. Yeah. It's one of those things that yeah, I mean it's a preference thing, you know. Like we prefer Google, some or the Google
Hmm.
assistants and stuff. Like I have the Nest Hub Max, and you do too. Like that has a Google Duo where we
Uh,
could call each other if we want.
Facebook has the Amazon Assistant built in. The portal does.
Yes, yeah.
So
So luckily they're not trying to make their own assistant. So I will
yes.
say that good for them. Don't try and make your own thing. Um, but yeah, they're trying to go hey portal, just like hey Mr. G or see. I still think one thing I like is Amazon did it right with the saying just the name, not hey something. But that's
Well,
a personal preference, and
the
I've
only reason that worked is because they disconnected the name of the assistant from the name of the company. Because
yes,
if you didn't have to say your wake word before the word Google, how
yes.
many more times would you trigger your
Oh, I should
assistant?
just Google it and it would just trigger. Yeah, no, I completely understand
And then
that.
it would
I just
go
wish
back to
they'd
its
give you
recording from 3 minutes ago and figure out what the it was you were talking about and start telling you
yeah.
about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just wish they give you the option to change. Like, at least with Amazon, you have Computer, Echo, or Lady A. Hopefully,
Hmm.
nobody in the chat right now uses the other two. But like, give you a couple
Hmm.
different options. Like, not just there's one option, and well, I guess technically two because you could say hey or okay, which I mean, they're pretty much the same damn thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the only reason that you can say either one is because both of them
They
trigger the
sound
same.
Yes, yeah, they sound exactly the same, but yeah, I just give me a couple options there. I mean, like I understand they don't want people to name it whatever they want, but people like options. Give
The
us 3 4 options.
doing whatever you want has a couple of downsides. One of them is the wake word is triggered on the device itself, so it'd have to somehow
Mhm.
figure out how to store the compute power because they've got it all like down for those words on the device.
You keep talking for a minute.
Okay, I will pop off your screen while you're doing that. Um, yeah,
I
the
suppose you don't need to see what's online shopping. Uh,
um, yeah. So I forgot what I was saying now.
we're talking about
Oh,
yeah,
wake words. Um,
yes.
so yeah, you need the compute power on the device, but if they can make it's kind of like when we were talking about cryptocurrency and you could have ASICs that are very specifically designed and they can be low power, very efficient, but they can only do one thing. And that's kind of what they've done in the assistants is made them low power, really good at listening for that wake word. If you change the wake word, suddenly they have to be more powerful so they can figure out what you're saying without sending
Well,
it to the cloud
uh,
all the time.
yes. So, um, yeah, they've somebody else has already done that.
Oh, really?
Yes. on my, if you want to pull up my
Pull
screen
your
here.
screen back up.
This is about 2 years old, a little over 2 years old. There is a project you can do in which you take a Raspberry Pi, a couple far field microphones, and a speaker, and obviously a power source, and you place this over top of your assistant. It creates a white noise that's being shot directly into the assistant's speaker, and you can program your own name to it. What happens is when you say the name, it shoots a recording of you saying like, "Hey, Mr. G," or
Whatever
"Hey,
the
late
wake.
or Lady A," yeah, whatever the wake word is, and then just goes into a pass-through mode.
Hmm.
That's that. I mean, that if somebody can make this work with a Raspberry Pi, I'm sure Google could figure out something.
Yeah, but the Raspberry Pi costs the same as a Google Home Mini, and so
I'm pretty sure they got. I think he actually runs it on a Raspberry Pi Zero. I'd
oh,
have to
does
look
he?
into it more because if you look how big that thing is, like that's just a tiny little cap that has microphones, speakers, and a power supply, or like some sort of wiring in there.
And the only
So,
other thing would
mhm.
would be the
Which is
delay.
zero is $5.
Yeah, the only other thing would be the delay. Because
Hmm.
right now, if you say the wake word and immediately start talking, it's keeping kind of a buffer of what you're saying, and then
Hmm.
once it is processed locally that you said the wake word, it starts streaming everything from that point forward that it kind of was buffering. So
Yeah,
you don't have when you have a white noise, you have to wait for it to finish doing its thing. I mean, it's a privacy thing, and I think it's a great thing, but there would be a delay
yeah.
as well. So
No, but
if you're not
this
used to
is
it,
doing it a this is doing it with like a third party thing. Whereas,
right?
I'm sure somebody at Google is smarter than the guys, or as smart at least as
Oh, right,
this
yeah,
is.
yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm not saying this needs to be on everything. I'm saying if wanted to, if Google wanted to, they could give you a list of options that would live on device, because this whole
yes,
Raspberry Pi setup is standalone. It's not connected to the internet. So,
yeah, yeah. Lives on device, yeah,
yeah,
and the stuff is getting more powerful, and it is
yeah,
possible that they are actually already powerful enough, and people are just used to it
yeah.
and not pushing
I
as much
talked
as
to
you.
a,
Hmm.
a Google rep at one point that came into the store. No, I don't want to talk to you. Piss off. And I jokingly, and this was years ago,
Carl
I
declined my
jokingly
phone
talked.
call.
What?
I was joking. I don't
Oh,
want to talk to you. Piss off. Oh, Carl
oh
declined my
no,
phone call.
Google Assistant on my phone.
Oh,
But I talked to a Google rep that it was in the store, and we were talking about tech and stuff, and it's like, why don't they give us a different name? And he says, honestly, I've been asked that before, and I've, basically the word around the shop or the office is it in your head, Google, because if you're
yeah, that's
constantly
absolutely,
saying
yeah.
it, it's now I'm going to go to Google for everything, because I've already made, like, and so, and it's not so much like you and I, we can, if we wanted to, we could easily switch and just be fine with it if both of us wanted to go to Lady A. But if you have kids and they grow up always saying, "Hey, Mr. G," they're all, it's going to ingrain in them like Chromebooks.
Hmm.
Chromebooks are in schools everywhere. It's actually, Chromebooks have outsold Apple products this year.
Really?
Yes,
Because of the number of schools sending them home for
and
kids.
people buy, or I shouldn't say this year, last year, outsold Apple. Yeah, in 2020, and you can pull this up here. This is a kind of another scenario. So Chromebooks are relatively cheap when you go with a cheap Chromebook. Like, they do have some expensive ones. The Samsung Galaxy Chromebook 2 just released, and that's like a $700 deal if you upgrade. But so these are relatively cheap, which means as long as for some schools and even some work, all you need is an internet connection. You don't need any special program. Everything can be done via a browser. And so even people that didn't have schools that bought them laptops, like so low kind of low
Hmm.
income ish areas where the schools didn't have the funding to give out laptops or Chromebooks, you could still pick up a Chromebook for like $150. So yeah, where are we at here? So Windows still has the worldwide market share. Mac for the longest time was second place, but yeah, Chrome OS is in second place now for uh, operating systems, and it's still definitely a huge margin between Windows and that. But that's kind of crazy to think something that like I've never even used Chrome OS. Like I've used variations of Mac OSs. I've used Windows, obviously. I've used Linux, but now we're seeing that Chrome OS could be like the new go-to.
I've
Maybe.
used Chrome OS once or twice, not
Have,
extensively. Um,
for what? What do you use it for?
we bought some at work to try to use, yeah,
Chromebooks.
we bought five each: Chromebooks, iPads, Amazon, the Fire tablets, and a few different things. Some Samsung, like just Android tablets. We
Mhm.
bought five each of like five different kinds of things for a project where we were looking into how can we utilize some of this less expensive technology
Oh,
in place of more
mhm.
expensive technology, and it was
Makes
useless
sense.
to us. Nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
Nobody who got it for could find any way to use it. um, but that was back when Chromebooks were relatively new. They were always low power
Yeah.
and they were not very good.
And let's be honest, this was, do we want to use this or can we use this? If it got to a point where somebody says, no, you have to figure it out, I'm sure there's ways you could make it work for what you do.
Yeah, the problem with those at work is that when we were looking at them, at least, I don't know if it's changed. You couldn't lock them down like you can a Windows PC on an Active Directory network. Where you say only these
Mm,
people can log in. I mean, you could put a password on, but now
yeah,
I can't get into it as an IT admin because you put your password on the thing. I can't do a thing
got
with that.
yeah.
I think that's changed now. I think that there are ways to
Okay,
manage
yeah.
it now.
And I think just based off of these numbers, like in Q1, we're looking at 5.8% for Mac and 5.3 for Chrome OS. Q2, you see Mac is 7.6 and 10% for Chrome OS. Like that's a pretty big jump
Yeah.
there. So they're they're going to start finding ways to see implementations that work for
Well,
every aspect.
right, and the thing about Chrome OS for things like school and like what some people use their computers for, if all you're doing is using web apps, maybe you're using Google Sheets or Excel Online,
Mm-hmm.
the online version of apps, email, watching videos, doing
Well,
any of that,
and
you're going to be fine with a Chromebook. It's going to be fine.
yeah, and my understanding is there's also a lot of apps that carry over from just Android because
That's
like
relatively
they're
new.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry. That's a new thing where they're starting to see that carryover to where if you're using it here, you can now use it. I don't have any prop to use, but you can use it on your laptop now. Or actually, I saw they have desktop versions, like little like Nook style Chrome OS boxes. That for somebody like it's basically like a new Raspberry Pi alternative, like as far as cheaper options for people. But
Desktop computer. That's 250 bucks, 500 bucks, $200. I mean, a Chrome. No, these are not
I didn't mean
Nux.
it was yeah, I didn't mean so Chrome. I just read on
Okay,
this Chrome
because
OS.
I'm looking for like a that to be under $100. I'm sure that it is.
Yeah. Computer. I just find it Chrome OS desktop. Yeah, no.
Chromebox.
Chromebox, is that what it is?
Chrome boxes looks like the words that we want to look for.
Okay. Because I saw one that was like pretty cheap. I can't, I want to say it was like the 150 ish, 200 mark. Oh,
Because you can
I
get a
really need to
laptop
start
with a
saving.
screen and Wi-Fi and all this for that
Mhm.
price, and then just hook it up to a monitor. So
Yeah.
I mean,
But so the reason I bring that up is those ones are actually upgradable too. Whereas not all the Chromebooks are when you start getting into the really cheap stuff. Uh Asus is this one? No, it's not that one. But anyways, like just seeing the fact that all of a sudden this is expanding into a lot of different options for the basic things. Like you said, just surfing the web or Google Docs, Google Sheets, anything like that. I'm really surprised. Like I didn't really think I would ever even be interested in Chrome OS. Now I'm half tempted to pick up a little Chrome OS laptop, or if I could find that article again or that product, a Chrome OS desktop.
oh,
So or Chrome.
some of the cost of some of these is that it comes with monitors.
Oh, the Chrome
Some
boxes.
of them do. So
Oh,
you want to
see,
look.
yeah, there was one that like it randomly popped up into my news feed, and I was just like, a Chromebox? What?
Yeah, I'm seeing them.
Uh,
I'm seeing them anywhere between $200 and $500. The cheapest I saw would look like a Fire Stick at
see,
129.
the one that I saw, it was just under 6 inches by 6 inches. I mean, just small guy, and it was just like bare bones. It came with an two HDMI out, Type C, two Type C, and a power port or something. God, I really wish. That's the problem when I'm like at work and I'm looking up some of this. Um, with HDMI and Type C. There's something relatively new too. But anyways, yeah, I kind of digress
Yeah,
from the fact
it
that
looks like there are some for under $100. They're like
yeah,
Celeron processors and stuff, which would be
yep, this had a
fine.
Celeron. Yeah, because you're nothing. You're not really doing anything on the computer itself. Like everything is offloaded.
Yeah, a Celeron could struggle with like watching a full HD video. You
Yeah,
could struggle on a Celeron, depending on the
yeah,
Celeron. If it's a brand new one, you may be okay. Older ones definitely struggle with that. But
yeah. I'll have to look into it, and if I find the one that I was talking about, um, sorry, I'm just reading chat here. I'll throw it in the Discord chat. I'll have to go back through and see if I can't find it in my history or something because like I looked at it, I'm like, that's not a bad price. Like I could pick that up, slap it on the back of the monitor, have it on a separate input or
is it
something, or throw it out on
like
the
this
TV or something.
Samsung one here for $120? It's got Celeron, 4 gigs of memory.
No, show me does it have a top-down view? A down one? No, it wasn't that one.
Hmm.
But I mean, you see, like that's not a bad option right there.
Yeah, and
I mean, think about it this way: for somebody that's not us,
right,
that would
no.
probably just fine. Like
The part that I'm struggling is even for $120, you can get a Chromebook that will perform
mhm.
similarly, and you could take it with you if you needed to.
Yeah, but and like this article said, so the article that I was reading, the guy had a Chromebook, but there's something to be said about just sitting down and not having to plug in or do anything and just go. Like
It's
for
true.
me, I don't have a lap. I have the MacBook Pro. That's more of I have it because it was given to me and whatever. But I never use it unless I'm going somewhere, like overnight
Hmm.
somewhere. And even then, like I was in a state. I crashed at your place for 3 nights. It never left my bag.
Yeah,
For me, it's like I just want it here. I want it to work. I don't want to have to unplug or plug in anything. So, I mean, it comes down to preference, but I see
yeah,
where you're coming from.
yeah.
Having a screen and everything already at that price point,
At
I think it would come down to what you get for that 150 for a laptop versus what you get for that 150 for a desktop.
Yeah, yeah, and if you can squeeze in a laptop and one of those USB hubs, so you plug everything into the hub and you plug
Mhm.
one cable into the laptop, and it even
Yeah,
charges the laptop for you. If you can squeeze that
yeah.
in, I see that being a much better value and what I would probably recommend most of the time. I'm not saying
Mhm.
that there is no place for a
Yeah.
desktop version. It's just that they are a little bit more expensive than I expected them to be, considering they're basically
I'll
the laptop without the screen.
well,
But of
and a
course, the
lot of
screens
these
aren't that
though.
expensive anymore either.
Well, yeah, that and some of the screens I've seen for like resolution on the really cheap ones are like,
1024 by 768. If
yeah.
you
Uh,
don't need a pixel more, you got it.
yeah, like Chromebook. What's the cheapest possible
Oh,
Chromebook
there's
I could buy?
Chrome bits as
Uh,
well.
Chrome
I
bits?
think that's what they call the Chromebook on a stick, or Chrome box on a stick.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely wasn't that thing. God, yeah. Um, I'm trying to find the cheapest possible Chromebook I could buy on Amazon right now, which looks to be $279
Really? Have they?
for a Lenovo Chromebook. But that is 1080 screen, 14-inch, 64 gigs. Now, is this upgradable? Because that was one of the other things. Like you could, in the article, the guy was talking about was like you buy the cheap one and you can always upgrade it later. Like RAM and hard drive was upgradable. Yeah, I'd imagine this one would be too, judging by how thick it is. So
I wouldn't put it past them being soldered, but I also wouldn't put it past it being soldered in some of the desktop ones. So if you
yeah.
want to be
Well,
upgradable, you have
and
to be careful
and
what you buy. Either way.
and this is I'm referring to this one that I can't remember. Like whatever this one was, I looked at it and go, that's not bad. So I'm not saying all because I mean obviously some of these are just ridiculously priced. Let's see what Walmart has for Chromebooks. Price no. How do we rate?
Can I
Let's
just say only new?
no, that's not an option. So you can get an MP Acer for
Oh,
98
condition
bucks.
new. There we go.
98 bucks for a MacBook. You wanna throw my screen up real quick?
Used like new. Used like new. Yeah, let me go to your screen.
So here's where the little bit of the downfall is. It's only 2 gigs of RAM, and you only have 16 gigs of internal storage, and
Yeah.
it's an 11-inch screen.
Looks like 11.6.
That right there. Shut your mouth.
No, no, I'm saying
11
on
point.
Amazon,
Oh,
comparable ones, same amount of RAM, same amount of storage, same size screen.
mhm.
Um, new are like 150, so that's cheaper than you can get on Amazon.
Yeah, and this is. I mean, I couldn't do 11.6 personally. Like that'd be just way too small for me. Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
you can
avoid
get them on.
that. I'm
We're not going there. But anyways, yeah, you can go ahead and put us back to
do we
side.
does
I think
Walmart have um uh Chrome boxes?
Chrome boxes. I got a Chrome box for you. Chrome box. Yeah, but let me sort
They're
by price. Lowest, cheapest one. Power supplies, power supplies, power
um
supplies. I get
the lowest non-refurbished Chrome box is 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gig SSD. So you got to keep in mind it's twice the RAM and SSD.
yeah.
And that probably also means it's a better processor. Is 231. That's the cheapest I can see on Walmart's website.
Oh no, I found one.
That's not doesn't say
Let me just make
refurbished.
sure that's what I'm double checking. So it's the Asus Chrome box. Oh, is this the one I was looking at? I think this may be the one I was looking at.
Where did you
I can't
find
see the
that?
back, so I don't know
I
if it's
sorted by price, low to
Walmart.
high.
Page number 2. So you get Asus Chromebox desktop Intel Celeron, 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gig SSD. Do we have more pictures? I want to see the back. No, I don't think that. I swore the one that I read did
What?
two HDMI, which I was surprised me. But at $100, like that's not bad.
Oh, sorted by relevance and low to high. Make sure click a button to do low to high only. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
gotcha.
what
Yeah.
I. Stupid
So
Walmart trying to trick me. They did. They got me.
they
I
got
almost was
you.
not going to buy anything from Walmart. I'm still not going to buy anything from Walmart.
No, but I mean that's not bad to get into a computer. I
I
mean, 4 gigs of RAM, I think is sufficient
so
enough.
that's what I was
And
looking for.
if you already have a TV, you're good to go. You don't have to buy a monitor. You just get a wireless
Right.
keyboard or mouse, and
That's what I was looking
boom.
for because that's basically the same price. I think this is like
Yeah.
what $10 more maybe because the other one was 89.99. This one's 99 for the
No,
laptop.
it was 98.
98.
Let me go back.
So
Let me go back.
that's the thing is it's twice the PC for the same
Yeah,
price.
98. Yeah,
And that's
and you're
what gets me is some places you can't do that, but apparently Walmart's the way to go if you want to get good deals on Chrome
apparently
boxes.
on Chrome boxes. Yeah. So, anyways, that's enough of our rant of chromed boxes here.
Yeah.
Just random stuff. Once again, we just wing it.
Yeah.
Let's check back in with the chat here real quick. Good. Do we have quite a few here? Where are we at? Yep, times have changed. Funny. So that kind of money. I'll take your TV. Talked about that. Larry's brother put a TV in the back of his bar that dropped down and came up. That's pretty cool. I feel deficient in my size with 32 inches. You need to update.
30,
You need to
32.
get.
You can get a 4K. Walmart's probably gonna have that too.
If you say a 4K 32-inch monitor or TV,
No,
I'm gonna just.
it's gonna be like a 4K 40-inch plus. But if you look at 4K TVs and you go to sort by low,
Get yourself a Vizio.
Vizios are surprisingly
Like
good.
they started off as like a Walmart exclusive too,
Yeah.
and now they're making like some really good TVs.
So you can get a 50-inch Spectre. Wouldn't necessarily recommend a Spectre
Yeah,
for $200. A 43-inch on brand. That's the new, I think, Walmart brand. I
yeah,
also
that's in
wouldn't go.
Walmart. I would right there.
T-
Vizio 40-inch
go
for 228.
Yeah,
Right
40-inch. So it's a little bit bigger, and it's 4K Ultra HD for $228. If you wanted to
That's
jump,
not bad.
if you wanted to jump up to 55-inch, those have gotten a lot cheaper.
Yeah, that seems to be like the new standard.
So
Bulva? What the heck is a Bulva?
I'm not. You can ask your parents about that when you get older.
381, and you can get yourself a 55-inch 4K. And that's that.
That's for the
The
Vizio
TV in my bedroom right now is a Vizio 4K, and it's like a 52-inch. I want to say it was like a weird one,
Yeah,
but I love it.
a lot of times, they cheap out on the number of inputs you've got. But you can solve that with a little hub or a receiver of some kind. Sometimes you can get a sound bar that, because these
Yeah.
oftentimes don't have really good sound either. But if you get
No,
a
no,
good
they're
sound
horrible.
bar that has multiple inputs on it, they're doing that more and more too. So you don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, maybe you spend a little bit more to get you the 4 or more inputs you need.
Gotcha.
A lot of TVs are coming with 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, prices have come down. So you know how
All right,
TVs
fun.
they melt they melt glass and they put on molten salt, right? That's how they make glass flat, is molten salt. And when they change the factories to make different sized pieces of glass, they can make it so it can get cut up into different pieces. And so for a while, they were cutting them up into 65-inch TV slices and then getting 32s down the side. So they get a bunch that are 65, and then along the side there'd be 32s.
Oh,
And so
nice.
one sheet of glass would get like 4 65s and like 6 32s. But they changed the size of the glass, and now they're fitting 75s down the side and 65s along the side where the 32s used to be. And so that's why that's the
Oh,
big driver and why the cost has come down so much is they changed the way they're making the glass.
just production.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently we set off Larry's two studios. Well, how did we do that? Is it because you used the word echo and you want to order an avocado? Or is it because you used computer and you want to order a tangerine? I'm hoping it was one of those two. I just set it off again. Ah, I'm not going to say the A word because that's like the universal. Anybody that's just set one up is still using the A word. Larry does say there's also the Samuel option also for the that's right. I think it's like $5 or something, and you can actually use the wake word for it's like Samuel L. Jackson, and it uses his voice.
For certain
So
lines.
yeah, for certain lines. Yeah, it's not even full fledged. Um, Mark Gum says he'd pay $30 to be able to call his Echo dumbass, and that's what there is that type of stuff. Like I think you just give like a handful of like generic terms like computer or work a deal out with
Disney.
don't add to my shopping list again. Yeah, make a deal out with Disney again, and or with Disney, and get Jarvis licensed. Because I mean, I would pay a premium to be able to call all my stuff Jarvis. I would legitimately because that'd just be cool. And if you can somehow get Paul Bettany to record all the audio for it, just sold, just sold.
Yeah. Yeah. Um so there's a
Uh,
thing. Most assistants, if you swear at them, will ask you to submit a. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry that you've had a bad experience. Would
yeah.
you like to submit a support ticket or feedback or whatever?"
Hold
So
on, hold on. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, everybody. Oh, I guess I can mute myself here. Go yourself. Oh, I don't know. I guess my mic may not have picked it up. It's like to report a problem, you can send feedback. Oh, okay. Amazon is what's setting off somebody's deal. Gotcha. Yeah. So, anyways, yep. Sounds like Google is working their way to have their version of Dex. I think I haven't messed around with Dex, and I actually saw it on my phone, and I kind of want to give it a shot just to see how that works. But I think they're shooting for more of an Apple aspiration there to have like the full setup more so than Dex.
well, I mean, Dex is a lot more powerful than a lot of people realize. I think you should
Yeah.
give it a shot.
Oh no, no, I'm
Um.
going to, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for Mark Gubb's comment there, he
Oh yeah.
says Google is working their way to have their version of Dex. I think they're working to have their way of Mac OS.
Do you still
Like
have one of the USB hubs, USB C hubs?
no, but I could pick one up.
Well, you can grab one from here. We've got two
Oh
now.
yeah,
So just
yeah.
next time you grab something, grab the hub from here,
Okay.
and
Next
that should be all
17.
you need because that'll give you an HDMI output. You plug it into your TV, done. And
Yeah,
the one
that's
that
true.
we have upstairs that lets you charge your phone while you're doing it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean that's something that I could definitely see potential for people on the go. That if you just a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, and you have just a monitor, everything's on your phone. If that's how you live is off your phone, I totally see Dex as a viable option. I think it's going to be getting enough buy-in to that, from the masses.
They tried to pin it as a professional on the go type.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not. It
Versus
was never
yeah.
going to take off, but
But we'll see. I mean, you never know. Who thought Chromebooks would be as popular as they are, or the Chrome OS? I mean, this could open up the gateway that all of a sudden it's like Dex is now in third place and Apple got dropped from there, stuff like that. But
yeah, 65
make a
inch,
video of me trying Dex. Yeah.
65-inch TV, under $400, 4K, under 400. It's just crazy. Like I bought my
Yeah.
65-inch TV for 1,200 not that long ago. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like that long ago. And I thought I was getting a steal then.
Let's see, what do we got here before we wrap up? Larry had a Vizio he was very, very happy with. As Plasma. Plasma was good aside from the burn-in issues, which they ultimately fixed eventually, I think.
Oh, I had a friend that has a story about that.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was watching their house, and as a prank, put pornography on the TV, paused it for the entire week, burned
And it
it
was
in
permanently burned
permanent.
in. Oh, that's mean. That is
This was
mean.
after plasma TVs should have long gone away, and
Oh, so he was trying to get him to get
so
rid of it anyway. Okay.
I think he ended up buying him a TV. But it was
Oh,
mean for the week that every time he turned his TV off, that's all he could see. When it was on, it was fine.
yeah,
But
because
when
the
the
light
TV was
goes
off, it was all he could see. Oh,
in like my first apartment. I had I bought a TV from Menards when I used to work there. So that was my first like TV I owned out on my own, and it was one of the ones that they used to display, and it had a Menards logo on it like 90% of the time. So when I turned my TV off, I saw the Menards logo that was burned into a CRT or like a CRT TV, like old school TV. That's how long that was on.
yeah.
It was like burned.
Anyway,
Uh,
I'll stop sidetracking now.
yeah,
You
no
can get
worries.
finished.
Larry had a Spectre 32 inch. Let's see. Now that I think about it, I probably spent more on two studios for the Fire TV Fire Stick 4K than I did on the TV. Oh yeah, that adds up quick. Don't add to my shopping list again. Yeah, you're welcome, Alan. You're welcome. Amazon ordered me an avocado. Uh, and I'm just
Now, don't order
changing.
it because then it's going to get delivered to them. You need to add it to the shopping list.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, that's even if you have like the auto purchase set up. I think the best voice pack was Mr. T for GPS. Oh, that would be a good one. Markham says I should make a video trying decks. That I may add that to my list because I mean I already have everything needed for it aside from a hub, and that's a simple enough fix. So, there's an Amazon commercial that keeps tripping my Fire tablet. See, and I thought my understanding was the Amazon commercials didn't trip because they had some underlying tone that they played that like prevented it from triggering. So I'm kind of curious about that. I was able to add my own voice to my GPS. Oh, that's a scary thought. Like adding your own voice to GPS.
It's like it, what is the that old game where it's like list a verb, list a whatever. I imagine it's like, okay, you're talking to a microphone. Say the word left. Left.
Left. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And it's just
Straight.
replaying that audio. Okay.
And
That makes
yeah, I
sense.
imagine it's something along those lines because making it actually use your voice and say words,
That'd take a
yeah,
lot.
well, not as much as it used to, but still more than I'd expect anybody would want to
You
do.
you would have to read like a whole like paragraph of key things in order for it to train to your voice. Oh, I changed recalculating and to
Yeah.
why can't you follow effing
Yeah, so
directions?
it was just
That's fun.
you record a set number of
Yeah,
phrases and it would stitch them together.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's pretty cool.
all
Still,
right. Yeah, oh, that is cool. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up there unless you had anything else you wanted to talk about, just
nope, I'm good. I've
nope. All
sidetracked
right.
enough.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Do appreciate it. I keep wanting to look over here. I'm gonna get used to this. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Enjoy doing these things. Hopefully Tuesdays work out for everybody. I feel like we didn't have quite as many people here, but we always got the good old classics with Larry, Mark Gump, Bill Wilson, Alan. We even had Modern Day Tech pop in here for a little bit. Glad you can make it. And then Bob Euler, he was in here for a hot second. And I think that's
And
everybody.
I
Yeah.
think we'll get more people as we do it more consistently on
Yeah.
Tuesdays. I know that
Yeah.
like my brother sometimes watches and Tuesdays conflict with him for now, but
hmm Yeah.
he's gonna
So I'm
change his
sure
schedule
we'll do.
to watch our show.
Okay. Good. Good. Bill Wilson says I'll have to remember which one when it happens again. Cool. Thanks. Yep. So yes, thank you guys. We will see you next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a great night. Goodbye.
Bye.